Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome as always to our coffee times. I'm here to introduce you to today's video. So as you can see by the title, today in 24 hours I'm going to read the complete Monster Street series. Now it is only 4 books and it is middle grade, so it's not like an extreme challenge, but I thought it would be a great thing to do to binge in one day. After seeing Cameron in one of his latest videos talking about The Boy Who Cried Werewolf and picking it up, I decided, what the heck, I'm gonna get the whole series. Why not? I want to read more horror middle grade this year, and this is the perfect excuse for me to grab them all. They look amazing, they're short, and I was like, you know, now that I have all of them, why don't I just sit down and read them in 24 hours and vlog the experience for you guys, so I can tell you a little bit more about each single story in case that you are interested in checking them out. So grab a cup of coffee, sit down and enjoy.
It's coffee time.
Excuse me. Are you ready to read? Yeah? This one's here? No, not amused? Which one do you like more? This one? This one? Maybe this one? Or how about this one? Not impressed? Okay.
Good morning guys, so I am ready. It is Sunday morning and today I have decided to take the day a little bit more for myself than I usually do, and my plan today is just to really enjoy the Sunday and read some books as well as play some video games and just have a good day. Now this weekend is Easter weekend. Normally during Easter I would always be with my parents because they would fly to Germany to spend some days with me, but I have not seen my parents since December of 2019, and I cannot even start to tell you how hard it is because I do have a really good relationship with my parents, and so it really sucks. And Easter is normally a time when I'm with them, and so it's extra kind of sad this year because it's been now a long time since I last saw them. So it is going to be a self-care day today. So I decided, in order to cheer myself up, and as I have already announced in the intro, I'm going to be reading the Monster Street books because these ones are hopefully a lot of fun, easy to read. It's gonna take me back to when I used to watch Goosebumps and stuff like that, and I'm really excited about them. They are probably also kind of more lighthearted than other heavy horror books that I own, and so I decided this would be perfect, and also to make a 24 hours reading vlog in which I only read these books and I will play some video games, you know, and just enjoy my day. So we are going to start, obviously, with coffee. And, because we already established, coffee heals every pain. So this book series can be read in any order you wish because every book is a complete different story, so you don't have to do it chronologically. However, you know my OCD, and since I own all of the books, I have decided to do it chronologically. So the first one, it's going to be this one, The Boy Who Cried Werewolf, where we follow the story of Max. His dad died in mysterious circumstances and he's determined to solve that mystery. However, he soon discovers that probably the person or creature behind his father's death is a werewolf, and he's gonna have to go on the hunt for that werewolf. Now that sounds like a lot of fun. And I think werewolves have been done dirty many times, and it is a creature that it doesn't get as much love, I think, as it should. But I've always loved werewolves, so I'm really excited to check this one out. So we're just gonna chill with a little bit of coffee. Read that first book. I think it's only 150 pages, so it's completely doable. And then I'll get back to you with some thoughts on the book. couple of coffee cups later, we have finished with our first book on the series, and I'm already loving it. Loving coffee as well. So we follow here Max, and he is traveling with his mom on the car. They are going to visit the grandparents that he has not seen in a long time, and he discovers that his dad's hunting accident happened there at the grandparents, so he's hoping to figure out a little bit more of what happened to his dad. And this place is called Wolf County. And I love the fact that when he's getting there with the car, he can see, you know, population 700 something, and then it's crossed out in red paint and it says 638 or something like that, and he's like, okay, so people are either living or disappearing in this town. So at his grandparents, he also discovers that they don't have electricity. They like to live, you know, just with candles, everything like very old school. And I love that because, of course, we are following Max, a 12-year-old in the current times, where he is, of course, always carrying his video games with him and his phone, and he doesn't have an electricity socket to charge any devices. Also, while he's there, he discovers that 12 years ago, there is this story about animals suddenly disappearing and then humans disappearing. So that's where this kind of legend of the werewolves kind of started. And this is all that happens at the very beginning, like first 20-30 pages or so. I'm not gonna tell you anything else because these books are fairly short, so I want you to go into it without knowing way too much. I will tell you that these are super bingeable, and I love that all the chapters have really fun names. A lot of them reminded me of like horror tropes or you know, horror movies, and I thought they were a lot of fun. Also, I love the way that this story was kind of modernized, and it was kind of turned into something that you will realize it's made for kids nowadays. It's a little bit more out there when it comes to describing, you know, some gory stuff that I would not have expected from middle grade books back in the day. Talking about a bloody axe and murder victims, and you're like, okay, so it makes sense because children in our generation are very different from back then. And another thing that I really loved about this book is that when the action especially starts to happen, every chapter kind of ends in a small cliffhanger, so it keeps the young readers interested, it keeps the young readers wanting to know more, and the author does a great job when it comes to keep the tension and also keep you guessing, because it's not one of those books that is going to be like super easy to guess exactly what's happening. You might have a couple of options open in your mind, but you're not going to know 100% the final answer until the end, and I think that's also really good and really well accomplished. So far, one book down, loving it. So it's time for a break, and I'm gonna have breakfast because I still haven't, and I'm gonna probably play just a little bit of Animal Crossing, you know, do my regular chores in my island, and yeah, I'll get back to you guys later when we are ready to dive into book 2. So I finished my breakfast, I had a video call with my parents, and I did a little bit of Animal Crossing playing. As you can see, my cats have joined the party. And I'm ready to jump into book 2. Also, don't mind my outfit. This is a huge like double XL shirt that I found at a comic store that was getting rid of a lot of old shirts, and I just bought it even though it's too big for me, but I love to wear it because hello, we represent a strong female. And yeah, these are just PJ pants. It's just comfortable to be home, so don't judge me. And we're ready to jump into book 2, which it's interesting because I thought this was the only one that takes place on Halloween night, but the first book already also made reference to Halloween. So I feel like this series is going to be perfect for anybody that wants to binge some fun middle grade spooky books for the Halloween season. And this second book, it's called The Halloweeners, and this is a story about a couple of friends that during Halloween night they turn into the monsters of their costumes and they get transformed into those monsters. It's kind of a curse, I guess, and the problem is if they don't figure out how to reverse that, they're going to stay like that. If sunrise comes, then they will turn into the monsters forever. And that sounds amazing to me. And of course it takes place on Halloween night and they are trick-or-treaters, and this is just everything to me. I don't know if this is gonna be my favorite one. I'm a little bit biased because you guys know I love everything Halloween themed, and Trick-or-Treat is one of my absolute favorite horror movies, but we're gonna give it a try and I'll get back to you with my thoughts on the book. I was trying to read, but as you can see, somebody has decided that he needs to sit on top of me right now. Buddy, I'm trying to read my book, bruh. What's happening? Do you guys with cats struggle? I mean, this is the situation. I cannot read my book anymore. Seriously, bruh. And he fell asleep. So I guess this is how we're gonna keep reading right now. Time for the next update. So my old boy has finished his nap and he left. And I have been able to finish the second book, as well as I have been able to finish the whole pot of coffee, which means I probably have to go and make another one because I still have a couple more books to go. And this one, the second book that we just read, it is a lot more humor than the first one, but you can already see things that connect these books in the way that the author is telling the stories. So in this book we have Fisher. He lives with his mom after his parents had a divorce, and basically he's tired of moving. He just wants to make good friends and stay in one place, and it is Halloween night, which is his favorite time of the year, which we have in common. And he wants to go trick-or-treating, and some of the guys from school have actually invited him to be a part of the Halloweeners, which is a kind of a secret club of kids that swear to Halloween and respect the Halloween rules and go collect candy. So when he goes to meet these guys, they have decided for that year to dress up as something that is kind of a fear of them, which I absolutely love. The concept that the kids were trying to face their fears by dressing up as something that they are scared of or something that they fear. And I also love that it is kind of a classic monsters. We have a ghost, we have a vampire, we have an invisible man, and we have the creature from the Black Lagoon. And I really love that. Even though this book is really modern, it's still kind of feeding on the classics. And honestly, these books feel like they could be in the 80s or 90s if it wasn't for phones and stuff like that, like mobile phones. But it's just such a good time. So our trick-or-treaters are going through town trying to collect all the candy, and as in nearly any trick-or-treat kind of spooky story, we have this house in the town that legend tells belongs to a witch that feeds on children, and they find there a cauldron with candy, and when they eat the candy they turn into the monsters that they were dressed up as. Except of Fisher, that is wearing the ghost costume. He's the only one that doesn't eat the candy, and he is the one that ends up chasing his friends through town, through a school dance for Halloween, trying to stop them and trying to get them back into their regular form, and trying that before sunrise they're not gonna become the monsters that they are forever. I love that this book is giving children the opportunity to see themselves, in the sense that not all these families are perfect. In the first book we have a family which the father died when Max was a kid, and he never really got to know his dad. In this book we have a kid from divorced parents, so it's not that happy parents that we see in most books. And also I love that the book focuses a lot in the relationship between the kids and the parents, and kind of how the family bonds, and kind of the children letting discover things from their parents' past that is connecting them to the family. I absolutely love that. It's not something that happens in middle grade all the time. I personally don't like books where the parents are either never there, or you know, they don't even care about their children and they don't even know where their children are. So I feel like these books are made so well for kids to also find that bond with their families, and I absolutely love that. I think it's great for kids to read that, and it's also bringing a lot of good messages. We have accepting yourself, and also we get to explore in the second book bullies, and how bullies have their own things in life that are making them act the way that they are, but in the end they're just kids, you know. So I really love all of those messages that the book is giving us, and yeah, I think this series might become one of my favorites, like middle grade spooky series, because I'm just having a lot of fun. Now it's time for a reading break, and I'll be seeing you guys when I'm ready to start book 3. And just like that, you guys, it is 4:30 p.m. I've had my lunch, and now I'm going to enjoy a hot lemon. I really enjoy having hot lemon, and this one has vitamin C and magnesium in it, so it's also giving my body you know, important things. And we are ready to jump into book 3. Now book 3 has another theme that I absolutely love, which is carnivals. So book 3, it's called Carnival, and it is the story of two brothers that go to this carnival, and they get a free pass that gives them unlimited rides for the carnival. But as always in life, nothing is really free, so they soon realize there is a price to pay. Love that setting, love carnivals, and absolutely love Discover. That's something we will talk about later, about the design of these books, which is amazing. So now let's dive into Carnival. Okay guys, let's do it. We finished book 3. I nearly fell asleep. Got that going on for me. You know, people sometimes ask me, how can you sleep when you drink so much coffee? My blood has been exchanged through the years for coffee, and currently I just drink coffee to keep my body going, but it doesn't wake me up anymore. That's the gist of it. So anyways, I finished Carnival book 3, and I have to tell you guys, this is now my new favorite, because this is such a dark story. It's a little bit messed up when you think about it, because of the topics and the themes that are being explored in this book. I'm not going to tell you too much about this one, because in this one I feel like the more blindly you go into it, the better. But the story is about these two brothers that go to spend a week at their aunt's place while the parents are on a trip. And the aunt basically works in this nursing home for really old people that are at the verge of death. And one night they decide to go to this carnival that has appeared out of the blue in this town. And even though they've been warned and they have been told they have to be careful if they go there, they still go. And yeah, decisions were made that are gonna have consequences. That's all I'm gonna tell you, because I believe that this book has a lot of things that if I tell you, they're gonna take away the fun of exploring it yourself. But this book is one of my new favorites now when it comes to middle grade spooky horror books, because it's just so dark. To be honest, it's very dark and twisted, so this is definitely one of my favorites now. Sadly, we only have one more book to go, so as before, I'm gonna take another reading break. We also don't want to burn out, but I mean, so far it's been a pretty relaxed day. I've been really enjoying reading these books, and they are so easy to read and so entertaining, and I definitely recommend it to you guys if you are looking for some spooky middle grades to get, especially for the Halloween season, because I forgot to tell you about this one. Is also based on Halloween, and I'm seeing a theme here. So this one starts a couple of days before Halloween, and the big things happen on Halloween night. So far these 3 books have been connected one way or another to Halloween, which is perfect to give you those spooky vibes. So definitely pick them up if you want to read some middle grade for, you know, the Halloween season. The time has come to read the 4th and final book in this series, and officially, as far as I know, that is going to be also the last book. There's nothing else announced. My wish and hope for the future is that we will get more. The 4th one was published in 2020, and like I said, there's nothing on Goodreads or anywhere that is hinting to the series continuing, which is very sad. Maybe I should not have binged it in one day, but I did it for the purpose of the video. But these are going to be also great for rereads in the future if you're looking for getting out of a reading slump, something like that. So we're about to start the 4th book, but because I'm really getting sleepy for some reason, even though I slept 8 hours last night, I have a little help here, which I don't usually drink, and I have a little bit of chocolate snack here. So this is what we're gonna do. And this 4th book is called Camp of No Return, and it is about a girl, I believe she's called Harper. Yeah, Harper, and she's being sent to this camp. I believe that it's supposed to be like this amazing magical experience, but we all know that's not how it's gonna go down. So apparently there is a really dark secret that she's going to uncover, so we shall see what that is. Also, all the books on the series are under 200 pages, so like I said, really easy to read and bingeable, fast paced. And the fact that the chapters kind of end up in a little cliffhanger, you could say, or something that is, you know, making you want to read the next chapter, is super easy to binge. So before I fall asleep at 7 p.m, let's drink a little bit of this juice and hope it's going to make its job and keep me awake. One hour later, I am finished with the last book, and it's also kind of nighttime already here. It's already dark outside. So I have finished the 4th book, and I have to say it was so good. It was so unexpected. I absolutely love the concept of this book. Sadly for you guys, I cannot really tell you much about that concept because I would spoil the whole thing. So what I'm going to tell you about this beautiful book is we're following Harper as she's being sent to this camp to spend some time away, and she has the fear that her parents are sending her there so that they can either reconciliate or divorce, and she's really worried about that. This camp they're sending her to is called Camp Moonlake, and it is a very secret camp that nobody knows what people do in there, what the kids do, what kind of activities, how the camp looks like. It's kind of like this special Disney World where only people that are super lucky get a ticket in, so to say. And even though this takes place in summer and not on Halloween season, there is a comment at the beginning in the first page that says that it kind of feels like Halloween. So, and the camp is all surrounded by fog, which makes it really atmospheric and kind of gives it this spooky feeling of October season anyways. And so there's many legends and stories that the kids hear about this camp. Even though nobody's allowed to say exactly what happens in there, there are stories of kids getting murdered in there in a bloodbath and their bodies never being found. There are legends of a girl disappearing and her ghost roaming the camp. All of these campfire stories that we get to hear on the first day at the camp. But that is basically the very beginning of the book, the first 20-30 pages. And after that, everything takes a turn at some point that I didn't really see coming. And I was so hyped for this book. Absolutely love it. And it feels like kind of YA, you know, like there's a lot of things in here that I feel like if kids read it, it's kind of intense. Of course, for me, as an adult that has read a lot of horror, it doesn't have the same impact, but there's a lot of things here that I'll be like, if I would be a kid, it would kind of traumatize me a little bit, you know. So these were amazing. I'm gonna show you now the book covers a little bit more in detail because the design of this collection is amazing. I love the colors so much. The spines are so colorful and nice, and these probably are one of my favorite cover arts that I have seen lately when it comes to middle grade books. I just think that they are so perfect. So here's the cover in detail of the first book. I absolutely love it. We have here Max with his red hoodie, and we have here the werewolf on the back. The second book that takes us on a Halloween night trick-or-treating with our main characters. This is one of my favorite covers because look at the shadows. It's just amazing. Book 3, my favorite story just because it was so dark. And here we have the two brothers getting their tickets into the carnival that would change their lives. Our fourth and final book takes us to Camp of No Return, or Camp Moonlake, and we see here Harper that it is trapped inside the bus taking her to this camp where she might or might not get out of. Also, the back of the books are just so colorful and fun. I just really hope that they are going to continue with this series at some point. So you guys, I hope that you had fun watching me talk about these books and giving you my spoiler-free review on all 4 volumes. I hope that you maybe found here a book that you'll be interested in checking out. They are also perfect for readathons because they are short. They're perfect if you're in a reading slump because they're easy to read and entertaining and completely bingeable. And I am probably going to talk about this series in future book recommendations and things like that. You're going to see me reading about this series in the future for sure. So this is my warning because I absolutely loved it. I'm definitely also going to check out anything else the author puts out there because I just love his ideas and the way that he put it on paper. This felt so modern, and at the same time he made a lot of references of things that I know from my childhood, and also they have good messages and they're creepy. And some of these stories, especially the third one, was really disturbing, and I absolutely love that. Disturbing in the sense that it was such a dark theme to explore for a middle grade book. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be talking about this series on my channel in the future, but also they're perfect for a lot of things if you're looking for a short book. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed hearing my thoughts, as always spoiler free, and I hope to see you all guys as always in our next coffee time. For me now it's time to have dinner and probably watch a horror movie, so I'll see you all guys in my next video. Bye.